Right now, finding our roots, building ourselves up from the rubble, building that foundation that weathers all the storms of life. That's why we're here, guys. Pissed off for excellence. Blog for you, man. This one comes from a man, Troy, man. He's in Dallas, Texas. He's asking a question I've heard so many times, and so many emails have come in about this. And I just came back from traveling abroad for a bit in Europe and areas around. I was giving a lot of speeches and lectures, and this came up a lot, man. And there's a lot of confusion on types of cardio, what cardio to do, when to do it, how often to do it, the benefits of it. And what hits me the hardest about this is that people just don't do the work with the mindset, the studying prior to activation of the body. And it really bothers me because they have the work ethic. They're willing to work hard. But prior to working hard, what are you working for? Everything I tell you guys, it starts with a vision, a belief. This is where I'm going. This is the end state. Once you know that, you back research what needs to be done, what needs to be applied to achieve that end goal result. You cannot go in blindly, listening to this guy, that guy, and just following suit like a blind squirrel trying to find a nut. You might get a nut once in a while, but do you want to get fed every fucking day? That comes with a brain set. Understanding why it works, how the body responds to it. All this stuff needs to be done prior to. It's prepping the objective, like in the military. Before you rush the objective with troops, you prep it with artillery, smoke, whatever else. You have a plan of action. That ensures success. It mitigates some of the risk. You understand why you're doing it. So when you hit plateaus and stuff, you can understand what the efforts are to the results and then manipulate your efforts to better results. It's not hard, man. It's really a science of intensity that starts with a student mind, being a student of the game prior to just a participant of the game. Let me read you this email from Troy. It's all about cardio, and we're going to break it down on what types of cardio to do, why to do it, how the body works, what cardio does to the body. His email, Greg, I'm really confused on cardio. I hear so much about it from so many called experts, and I want to get your take on cardio. What do you do? How often do you do it? Best fat burning cardio, etc. I am trying to lose some fat, but really just want to keep my size and get cut up. I'm about 9% body fat right now and want to dial it in. I have asked other people and get advice that is conflicting. I figured I asked the one guy I know who's always cut and photo shoot ready year round how you do it, as your physique is what I aspire to emulate. Thanks, Troy from Dallas, Texas. Troy, good email, a good question, and let's break it down. Let's break down what cardio does, how the body burns fat, how the body builds the aerobic and anaerobic conditioning of the body, how often to do it, in conjunction with your end goal, what that may be. Like in working out, guys, and when you work out in the gym to build size, whatever else, that gym is never the ends, but it means to the ends. That means can be derived in so many different ways, like all roads lead to Rome kind of thing, but one's most pivotal for what you want. What do you want? In the gym, there's so many ways to lift for so many end goal results. In cardio, there's really only three end goal results. Those results are, one, a fat burning process, decrease the body fat, and your BMI. Your BMI is how much you weigh, basically, and the two variables is lean mass to body fat. Add them up, that's your BMI. That's how much you weigh. You want to reduce the body fat, increase the lean mass, right? So fat burning is one tool of cardio. The other one is your aerobic conditioning. Your how good a shape you're in. Be able to run and to endure physical activity and keep your wind, keep your level still high and optimal throughout a duration period of time. The other one is the anaerobic process, the ability to perform without oxygen, your muscle mass, the endurance of the muscles. Those are really the three goals in cardio. In our world, all we care about is the end goal of how we look, the vanity, the six-pack, the cut factor, and everything else. But for an athlete, it's not about that. It's like we're about to go into the Stanley Cup Finals with LA's going to fucking take out New York. And what's that about? It's about being able to play optimal and having your legs in the third period like you did, in the first period. Because that's the game of attrition. Who wins that one? Who's the best at the end? Who's still throwing the puck on net and still has a decisive way and hand-body coordination to put the puck in that's not, inhibited by their wind, their capacity. So there's, so different means of cardio for different people, but they really come down to aerobic conditioning, anaerobic endurance, or a fat burning process. Most of the people that are talking to me right now are talking in all these lectures and stuff, and you guys on the site, it's all about how to get cut up, man. How to just get dialed in, man, when you look in the mirror and you're like, Da Vinci Code right there, like aesthetic, just the intrusian man, right? All right. We're going to talk about this in a lot of different ways. I'm going to tell you how I do it, what I do, and what I don't do. But let's first break it down, stupid simple, what happens with cardio. To burn fat, right? It's off the heart rate. And I've said a bunch of these things before in previous blogs. Let me dump it all here in one so everyone knows and there's no confusion, because it's not confusing. If you put the work in with the mind, not just the body, with the mind, you really have a more effective and more efficient way of your results in the gym with the body. So again, it starts here, guys, it starts here, and then this motherfucker grows. It doesn't go the other way around. The body does not inspire the mind. The mind inspires the body. It never happens the other way around. So once we do the work and study and everything up, we start to realize that fat loss is off the heart rate. When the heart starts to spike like crazy and it's beating like crazy, right? Your body's like, fuck, man, what are we doing? We need energy and we need it now. The only thing your body can break down fast enough to sustain that current module, whatever that thing you're doing right there, at a high heart rate, is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are going to be burned in the first 10, 15 kind of minutes. After that, it's going to bypass fat, because it can't break it down fast enough to sustain the activity you're doing. So we go right into muscle mass and start breaking down the muscle mass, which is what we want to maintain, right? That's what Troy's talking about. Hey, I got some good size. I just want to dial it in, man. Get rid of some of this excess body fat I have and really pop everything I work for in the gym, really show it off. Well, cardio, depending on your heart rate, your body is very efficient. It's the most efficient motherfucker out there. And when I say efficient, it does what is easiest for the body, not for your end goal results or this human mankind way of how the body's supposed to look. Back in the day, if you look at old paintings and stuff, Da Vinci, Rembrandt and stuff, you see these fat bitches, just these huge women, like one on a towel, drinking wine and everything else. Back then, a beautiful body, right, was a body that was fatter, larger, curvier, bigger. Why? Because that was a sign of royalty. That means the only way you get fat is if you have money to buy food and eat the food, right? So it's a sign of wealth that way. That was what was inspiring then. Now in our world, with Kate Moss being a runway model, all these girls, anorexia becomes all of a sudden. I mean, that wasn't an issue back then. It is now, because the human nature and society's rhyme is this aesthetic thing that everyone says, wow, look how thin they are, look how trim they are, look how cut they are. The body does not see that. The body has not changed their demographic of what is success or not successful. The body sees it as a way of survival. That's the only thing that's successful for the body. And successful for the body is body fat, to have stored energy in a time of need. When we're coming down to 5-6% or even lower, 3% body fat, our body doesn't see that as, hey, good job, man, way to go, we really look good. No, it sees that, hey, man, we're in the red right now, man, we're in the red. Man, we could die, man. We need to pump this shit up some. It's in a threat state. It's not happy. It wants to find, so the body's always about efficiency. When you guys are doing a curl or something and you start to throw your back into the curl, it's because the body doesn't understand you're trying to grow one muscle. It's like, dude, we got all these other muscles lift this weight, man. I got a leg, look at the back, I got all this stuff. I got momentum. Why be so stupid and cut all your assets out and just make one thing overuse itself? It doesn't get that, but we get it because we're trying to grow that muscle, right? Same with cardio. Your body doesn't see it as we're going to do it this way or that way. It's trying to make it most efficient for the end goal result of survival. So when you're doing things and you're burning fat here and not burning fat there, and your heart rate spiking and stuff, your body's not trying to achieve what you feel is right. It's trying to achieve what it says is right, which is survival. That being said, guys, I'm getting a little off track here. So when your heart starts to spike, that's why it'll burn the carbs first. And why? Because it's easy for your body to break carbs down for energy. Fat takes longer. So depending on your heart rate, how much energy you need, it knows it can't break that down fast enough to sustain the activity. So it bypasses it. It's smart. It's efficient. It goes right to the muscle mass. Why? Because a nice big muscle, your body doesn't see it as something attainable, something to be prideful of and respect and harness and cherish and no, it sees it as an energy source. It sees it as, hey, tap into me at will for quick energy, because your body can break down muscle mass for energy a lot faster than it can body fat. So if you start spiking your heart rate, because most people feel, if I'm on the treadmill hauling ass and sweat my ass off, that is a good workout. And if I go light and go weaker on it, where I'm not breathing so heavy, I'm not really pushing myself. I'm being half-assed, so I'm not going to get the results I want. No. 1 is a great result for A, 2 is a great result for B. What is your result? Where do you want to go? That's why you do what you do. And it's got to be that way. Like there's good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates. What overrides a good carb and a bad carb is the right timing to take one. You don't take a good carb, fiber-based oatmeal and stuff, right before the gym, because your body takes longer to digest that. So therefore your food in your stomach, as you're working out, that's undigested. Once undigested, then you get stomach cramps because your body has 2 priorities. Hit the muscle, get the oxygen to the muscle, but also break down the fat. Break down the food. So therefore it shifts, and then also all the energy goes to the muscle, and undigested food creates stomach cramps, shutting your workout down. So that's a good carb at a bad time. Simple sugars, having a piece of fruit or some, sports drink with sugar in it. Simple sugar. Sugars are bad carbs. Good time to take it for the opportunity, what you're about to endure. So therefore, what overrides a good carb, bad carb is the timing of which you take it. It's how the body responds to it. What overrides cardio, good cardio, bad cardio, is knowing why you're doing it. So it doesn't mean that, hey, if I'm not drained and breathing is so heavy and falling down and fatigue and stuff, that my workout is good or not. No, it's are you doing what you're trying to gain? And that is the pre-work, prepping the objective, the studying of it before you apply action to it. So when your heart rate is going crazy, your body will only break down carbohydrates and then muscle mass. If we lower that heart rate, and if you look at any kind of treadmill, elliptical, Stairmaster, anything else, there's those little charts there, right? And it's off your BMI. So there's a higher chart and then a lower one. Your lower ones, they always say a fat burning one, and the other one is like an aerobic conditioning or cardio interval. Well, the higher one is when your heart rate spiked, right? You're not burning fat, but you are increasing your body's ability to bring in O2 through the ATP process, the Krebs cycle, and then emit CO2 and lactic acid, and then be able to transport that out of your body. So the ability of doing that is a cardio endurance, the aerobic conditioning of your body to maintain that kind of level of activity where O2 is coming in, CO2 is going out, and the ability to use O2 at a high rate for a period of time. The more you do that, the longer you can stretch that out. But it's not burning fat. So if you want to burn fat, then you come back down on the heart rate on the treadmill. Maybe increase it, a little elevation, and you're walking on it, and a brisk walk, still having a conversation, but you're not drained, you're not winded, your heart's not like killing you, right? And you do it for 45 minutes to an hour, great fat burn. Okay, so we know that the heart rate, our conditioning, how hard it's beating, is going to dictate whether our body burns fat or it burns everything else, carbs and muscle mass, right? So if our end goal is fat loss, then we know how to manipulate our cardio to get that result. So that's just some information I want you to understand and backlog as we keep on going here, that the heart rate of fat loss, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is the debt of health. Body fat's a debt of health. And I talked about this before. When you get behind on your credit cards, right? You have these interest rates and stuff, and so you can't pay it all off in full every single month. What happens is you have debt building. Once that debt starts to build, the interest rate that was maybe 5%, 9%, starts to climb 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, all 30% body fats. 30% interest rates sometimes on that remaining balance. That's how they make their money. They're hoping you can't pay off the entire bill in full, because that's how they make their money, right? So even though you're putting $500 to your credit card every month, because the credit card balance is $2,000, only so much is going off principal. The rest is all interest. Where if you only had $500 on the bill and you paid $500, all off principal, nothing off interest. Same with our bodies, guys. Our bodies. The more body fat we have is the same parallel metaphor as credit card debt. Meaning you're not able to pay off all of the principal. There's interest involved. Body fat. The more body fat you have, even though you pay $500 every month to the credit card, only so much is going to the principal, because the rest of it's all interest. So 500 out, maybe only 300 goes to principal. The rest is just interest payments you're paying on top of it. So that pair of shoes you bought for a couple $100 ends up costing you like twice as much in the long run. But we're not thinking about the long run. We're just thinking we want the shoes now, because we're not students of the financial world either. We see, oh, I got a credit card, I can just buy with a credit card. No, motherfucker. Do you have the money for it? Because if you don't have the money for it right now, $100 today you just spent on a credit card is costing you $1.30 later in the longevity of paying it all off. But everyone's about, hey, I need it now, temporary satisfaction. No one wants to invest their time today for tomorrow's benefit. They want the fucking reward right away. That mentality is a loser. Today, tomorrow, and twice on Sunday, and always a loser. The person that's willing to invest today for tomorrow's investment by studying and understanding it, their efforts are 100% more rewarding. I'm talking fast because I want to get through a lot of stuff here. What I'm trying to say, the body fat thing, is that if here I am as a person and I have a clone double of me, right? And I'm at a 5% body fat and they're at 30% body fat. And we do like a half an hour run around the neighborhood or something, right? We come back. The guy that's 30% body fat, my clone double, is gassing, man. He's out of shape. He's winded and everything else. He's sweating. I'm sweating too. I burn 10 times more calories than he has. Why? Because what I'm doing is I'm moving a body mass index that's extremely high lean mass, very small body fat. So therefore, when it's lean mass moving, it's fiber based, tremendous amount of caloric intake required to move that element, as opposed to body fat. Very little a bit of caloric intake is needed, because fat is a stored energy source, meaning it doesn't require a lot of calories to move it. Therefore, even though we ran all the way around the block, right, and he ran 5 miles, right, only 2 miles came off, the principal. The rest is all interest because of body fat, until he drops that body fat. Once you drop the body fat and you're lean, that's why there's a maintenance phase and then a transition phase. The transition phase, and this is something I need to tell you guys, because as I start talking to you about cardio, it depends where you are on your body fat. Are you in a transition where you're over 10% body fat, double digits, or are you in a maintenance phase, single digit body fat? Because your cardio regime is going to be dependent on that, because of the end goal result of what you want. There is no universal path to individual success. It's where you are and how to improve it from where you are. So even though we both ran the same distance, the lean person, the lower body fat, again, credit card debt, 500 off principal, that's all that was left, on the bill, 500 off. No interest payment, all into principal. $1,000, that's a fat guy. He only puts 500 off. Well, the interest rates are running on him. The juice is running, right? So he only went 500. He doesn't have the next bill as $500 the next month. No, it's probably like, 370. He probably got like, he probably got 375 off the principal. So he still has like 6 1/4 off the bill still, and whatever else he's gonna put on the following month. Does that make sense? That's what body fat is. The more you can get the body fat down, then you have to decrease the health debt of what we're doing, like the credit card debt. You pay it all off, you had a zero principal, and then everything you buy, you pay it off right away. So those are the 2 principles I want you guys to understand. The heart rate of fat loss, and then what fat really is. It's a stored energy source. The more you have, the less you get in return of your efforts, because it's a stored energy requiring a little bit of caloric intake. Okay, those 2 people, transition guy trying to get in shape, or girl, right? We'll call them A, right? And then you have B, person that's already in good shape, maintenance phase. Who are they? Lower body fat, single digits, upper body fat, over that. If you don't know your body fat, look in the mirror. If you can lift your shirt up and see your abs, you're probably single digits. If you can't see your abs, you're probably in that transition phase still. You're holding a lot of excess body fat. Cardio at this point will then change at this point of what you're going to do. Let's break it down. All right, where do I want to start with this? The best cardio in the world, the only cardio I do, is high intensity interval training, HIIT training. Combines 2 theories, high intensity with interval. The period of time to do that is 15-25 minutes at the very, very most. Remember before when I was telling you about the fat loss, the heart rate, the heartbeat of fat loss? So if you start running really, really hard and everything else, the first 15, 20 minutes, whatever else, you're burning whatever's in your gut, your carbs, whatever else, then your body will bypass the fat and start eating your muscle. Yeah, that's why this duration of HIIT training, high intensity interval training, is only done for like 20 minutes. That's it. 20 minutes. But it's extreme training that gets extreme results. The basic philosophy is high intensity is this. It's off your VO2 max. Your ability of the Krebs cycle to bring in oxygen and get rid of CO2. The maximum amount you can go until you can't bring in enough oxygen and your CO2 and lactic acid starts to build in a negative way. So you can't get it out fast enough to even bring it in. That's your VO2 max. Different for everybody depending on how good a shape you're in. There's a lot of things you can do at the gym. Ask any one of your trainers. Hopefully those fucking trainers know something. They can show you this. And you get on a treadmill and they can test it and find out what it is. So you know what your optimal VO2 max is. Again, it's studying, guys. Knowing what the fucking numbers are. And then you apply your efforts to those numbers. Because in high intensity training, there's two things. High intensity and the interval part, right? The interval part and high intensity. In the high intensity, Dr. Tabbitt, 1996 came out with a study, and it's been proven. 4-minute workout, man. 4-minute workout. But this is balls to the wall, man. This is where your lungs are killing you, your heart's about to fucking die. You know, you feel like death on a stick, man. 4 minutes is all it is. Those 4 minutes is high intensity, a VO2 max of 170% of your VO2 max for 20 seconds on. Then 10 seconds just chilling. Then 20 seconds on, 10 seconds chilling. 8 cycles of that for 4 minutes and you're done. So anyone that's short on time or something like that, hey, not a problem here with HIIT training. You know, this all of these things in high intensity interval training combine a VO2 max nailed and push beyond what your currently levels are, and then coming back down, lowering your heart rate for a period of time. That's what high intensity interval training is, HIIT training is. It's spiking it and bringing it back down. And examples of such, you know, you're going for a jog, right? And those telephone poles, you know, I don't know what the distance are. Let's say you sprint as fast as you can for 2 of them, then you jog 1, then you sprint 2, then you jog 1. In the pool, you're gonna swim laps, right? You're gonna swim as fast as you can. And the pool's only like 4 feet deep. You're gonna swim as fast as you can 1 lap, and then you're gonna walk it back, you know? Or you're gonna swim as fast as you can 2 laps, and then walk in the water, pushing the water slowly. So it's a spike and then the release. Hill running, you sprint up the hill, and then you just jog it back down, sprint up the hill. So it's a spike, up, down, up, down. So when I say it's 15, 20 minutes, it's not non-stop, high intensity, VO2 max threshold for that duration. No one can do that. No one can do that. Dr. Tabbitt, like, he said like the 4-minute thing, which is badass hard, man. I mean, you gotta have a lot of will to get through that. It's not easy. It's like, oh, it's only 4 minutes. Yeah, we'll find out. You know, there's things I can have you guys do within 30 seconds that make you wanna like sell your house to me, you know, at under prime state. Because it hurts that bad. You know, you have these big goals and the race is coming up and everything else, and in your head you're gonna win and everything else, but as soon as you start to run and you start to hit that wall, all of a sudden you lose the will because the pain is so much. You know, it's a pride versus pain threshold. Pride's forever, pain's temporary. Only if you push past the pain to get to the pride. We start to find out how bad you want it. That's again the pre-study. To understand why you're doing it, not because of sex appeal or this guy did that. Understand why you're doing it. Therefore, you know what to do. Therefore, you know when it starts to hurt, it's not like you didn't know it was coming. You welcome that because this hurt is letting you know you're fixing something that's insufficient in your life, making it stronger, giving value to the end goal result that you want. So when you feel the pain, you're willing to keep going. Because you've done the research on why that pain should be. And when you feel it, you're like, now I'm in it, man. Now I'm actually getting better than I was earlier today. So it excites you instead of most people saying, hey, throw the towel in. It's got to be that way, guys. The pre-study, understanding that kind of stuff. All right, again, getting off track here. Because it is so much more than physical attribute, guys. Your body is nothing more than a mindset, a belief on who you are. You got to believe it, understand it, study it, be a master of it up here before your body ever in the mirror shows it to you down here. You know what I mean? High intensity training. So there's all these different variables. There's so many different ways of doing it. There's high intensity interval training that you can do in 45-minute durations, where you're like, you know, you're lifting. Let's say you're doing squats, right? So you put on some weight there, some heavy squats or something, doing like maybe 8 reps, and then right as you finish that, then you're gonna do like mountain climbers. You know, just high intensity, you know, for like 30 seconds. Then you come back and you do another lift session. You know, there's a million ways to do it, but what the whole theme of high intensity training is a spike of your VO2 max and then a decreased state of a rest period. The rest period is active rest, meaning it's not like you're sitting down, not moving. I mean, if nothing else, you're just walking in circles, rolling your arms around, just keep moving. You know, that helps you recover faster than if you sit there sedatively, because it's increasing your circulation. With more circulation, the more blood's going to the targeted regions, pulling out the extremities, the byproducts, lactic acid and CO2, to bring them out, to get rid of it so you can bring in oxygen. That's the recovery process. The benefits of high intensity training. And I'm going to tell you how often you do it, when to do it, and everything else. By the way, transition guy, maintenance guy, both are doing high intensity training, but different times for different reasons. And I'll explain all this. I'm going to explain what this is. This is the jewel of success. Why is it a jewel of success for cardio? Because we don't lose what we're trying to build. When we're using our muscles anaerobically, using our muscles in an aerobic facet at a VO2 max, and then lowering our heart rate, and then going back and forth, we're burning 10 times more calories than if we were on a traditional endurance treadmill for a period of time at a flat rate. Studies have proven that. The studies are this. And bikers, people that are cyclists, right? Their best cycling time, right? The way they judge it is like, all right, they keep a certain level of intensity, and how long can they go until that level of intensity starts to depreciate because they're worn out. So they do that, right? They get their time. It's called X. It's how far they go on that level of intensity. Then they went into a high intensity interval training period for 8 weeks. 3 times a week, 20 minutes a session. That's all it is, 3 times. So it's 60 minutes in the entire given 7-day week. They did it for 8 weeks. And then they went back into the same test. Kept the same interval, and they did not just go to X, they went to 2X. They went twice as far within 8 weeks of training on high intensity training as opposed to conventional, working out, treadmill, endurance factors, twice as far at the same level in 8 weeks. It's unbelievable. Another study, 2 weeks of interval training, 2 weeks of high intensity interval training at 20 minutes for 3 times a week. So you're talking about 6 total sessions. Is the equivalent in aerobic conditioning as 8 weeks of doing it in an hour 5 times a week. What the fuck? Now we're talking about efficiency, right? But we don't go that far, right? Because we're too stupid. We don't do the study, and we just get on the treadmill like everyone else does, and get on our cell phone, we talk to somebody, we're watching the news, and doing that. Now that cardio is fine. It's a fat-burning cardio for people that are in a transition phase. And I think it's a very good cardio, but there's nothing productive about it. One more tip I want to show you before I start to go into the programs of these 2 modules, the transition and the maintenance phase. Oh, by the way, on high intensity, the other benefits, because not only do you not lose your muscle mass, you just burn the fat and everything else because you're using your muscles in it, and you're not going long enough for your body to rid itself of its, macros of carbs, energy, so it doesn't get to the body muscle tissue to break down because it's only a 15, 25 minutes, segments. So you're not losing muscle, you're just building, you're increasing your strength, increasing the endurance of the muscle, and then decreasing your body fat too at the same time. So it's a win, right? But also one session of high intensity interval training increases your natural human growth hormone, your HGH, 450% for the next 24 hours. The next 24 hours, human growth hormone through the roof, 450% of its normal rate. Human growth hormone is the building blocks of everything we're doing. It helps to build everything we're doing. It also helps to increase fat burning enzymes. So we're burning more fat, so it increases our fat burning process. It also is an age reductor. On top of that, let me tell you this other study. A guy with type 2 diabetes, full-blown type 2 diabetes, does 1 session of high intensity interval training for 20 minutes, just 1. And for the next 24 hours after that, his insulin and blood sugar levels are controlled and improved and monetized. Stable. Just 1 session. Oh my God, everyone with diabetes has to take all these drugs from doctors and stuff. Oh, or maybe our body can fucking fix itself. Maybe we start to learn what that's all about. And then we start to do the right cardio for who we are. The right cardio for the end state of where we're going. It's studying it, guys, that enhances your success. Increases it in a time manner too, where 2 weeks of high intensity interval training is equivalent to 8 weeks of an hour a day, 5 times a week. And we're only doing it 20 minutes, 3 times a week. 2 weeks to 8 weeks. Really? If I were to put these in financial terms, that's like saying, hey man, you're gonna work 8 hours on my yard as a landscaper, and I'll give you $20, or you're gonna work 4 hours, and I'll give you $1,000. It's that simple, but it's not until you understand it and you learn it do you even to even apply that action in the principle. So anyway, there's a lot of benefits to it, right? So the other thing I want to say real fast before we get into the programs of transition and maintenance is that the ability to work out in aerobic facet cardio, and I say this a lot in other ones, I say, guys, if you really want to lose that last bit of body fat, get off the treadmills. Get rid of your cardio regime as you know it. Turn your cardio into a lifting program. So 3 times a week you'll do this. So my splits are like, I have a 5-day split. I'll go chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, and then I'll go right back into an outdoor workout or right back to chest. But of that given week, let's say 5 days where I do the entire body, 2 of those days or 3 of those days, whatever you're feeling, right? You're gonna come back in, and we do all these in the morning. So chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs in the morning, right? Well, let's say this day and this day. So that's gonna be back and then arms. These 2 days, I'm gonna come back into the gym at nighttime. Do the same workout, meaning the same muscle groups, but in a different way, in a cardio way. So in the morning, if I'm doing like 8 sets of an exercise, 8 sets for a muscle group, right? Each set, 4 sets. Each exercise, 4 sets. So you have 8 exercises, 4 sets apiece. The way I would do is a pyramid. So the first set of the exercise would be like 12 reps, and I'll go 10, then 8, 6. Increasing the weight, decreasing the reps for 4 sets of that exercise, and then I go on to exercise number 2. Well, you have about maybe 2 minutes in between each set to ensure that my body recovers, the lactic acid's out, some of the muscle fibers are failing, not the endurance or the ability of the cardio aspect of the muscle failing. When I come back that evening, it's the same muscle group, but a total different module. The different modules, instead of doing 4 sets of each exercise and 8 of them, I'll do 1 set of this exercise, immediately go to the next set, and then the next set, and I'll do a cycle of 1 exercise for every exercise, 1 set for every exercise, and then I'll repeat it 2, 3, or 4 times, usually about 3 times. My rest period in between is about 30 seconds. And when I say rest, it's not much rest. It's you get off the bench press and you move right to the next exercise. However much travel time that is. Your repage, you're going like 25, 30 reps. So what you're doing is you're elevating your heart rate, spiking it up top, maintaining it for 45 minutes. That's an entire fat burn, burning a shitload of calories. Compare that hour or 45 minutes, right, to another module. Someone on a treadmill. So it's both people putting that 45 minutes to an hour into the gym for cardio. One's on a treadmill, just elevates his heart rate and runs for 45 minutes, maintains that. They burn calories. They burn a lot of calories. As soon as they get off the treadmill, they stop burning calories. Stop burning calories. Where if you go to the gym, you're using your muscles, you're elevating your heart rate, same amount of time, not burning as many calories, but you're burning this, you're starting to build a second, third tier, striations of the muscle as you're doing that workout. But when you finish the workout, because those healthy micro tears in the sacromere that needs to be recovered and rebuilt, your body continues to burn calories to repair and regrow what you just broke down. So therefore, within a 24-hour period, you're burning 10 times more calories in a given 45-minute by doing a lifting session, high rep, short durations of rest in a circuit module, as opposed to being on a treadmill for 45 minutes. You must understand what that is, because that's pivotal to everything with cardio that we're going to be talking about. Why is that pivotal? Because in the body max thing, again, back to the point of the body fat, the debt of health when you're storing body fat. When your BMI, this is your BMI, this is lean mass plus body fat, right? If we can reduce the body fat and make it more lean mass, then the more we walk around, we're going to work, we get in the car, we're going grocery shopping, we're cleaning the house, everything we're doing is movement, requires calories, but we're moving fiber, like lean mass, requires tremendous more caloric intake to move that than body fat. So as we start to do those types of cardio workouts, we're building the lean mass. Where the cardio session of just on the treadmill is just decreasing the body fat. What we're doing is we're decreasing the body fat while building the lean mass. So more lean mass than any given activity when we're moving around and doing stuff, burning more calories than it was before. So what I'm saying is like the transition phase, the maintenance phase, when we get rid of that debt, that body fat, and we get into that maintenance phase, that low percent body fats, you can't help but stay in shape. That's why I've been on the cover. Like, I was on the cover every single month and I want to give a magazine for over 5 years, man. No one's done that. I've been on more covers than anybody else since I started this run. Because I'm always in shape, always ready to go. So Troy, when you're saying, why are you always in shape? How are you always in shape? These are the philosophies, the principles that I've embedded. I've studied it, then I tried them. You know, it's not coming from something I read and plagiarized. It's coming from the street sweat that I fucking applied. This is where I've learned it. I studied it, listened to people, absorbed it, always gave a valiant effort, tried it. If it didn't work, I kicked it to the curb. If it did work, I tried it and kept it. So that's what it's really about, being strong enough to try things. Don't think that you're the best and the universe revolves around you. Always keep the peripheral vision open, learning from everybody else as much as you can. I can't tell you how much I've learned from other people, you know, but just having, you know, like a low ego in the gym, you know, just having that thirst for knowledge. That thirst for knowledge is the growth of muscle bellies. It really is. It starts with. Okay, all right, so now you guys understand. You guys understand the heart rate of fat loss. You understand the debt of fat loss. Body fat as a stored energy, lower calories to burn than lean mass on the BMI. You understand that a cardio session for an hour on a treadmill is not as beneficial in a 24-hour period as actually doing a workout where you're lifting and lifting higher reps and stuff. Also, that builds a second, third tier muscle, you know, striations. So you see all those cut factors when you really get lean. When do we do these, guys? When do we do it? How do we do it? All right. If you guys are in a transition phase, given week, let's say you're working out 4 or 5 times a week, right? I need you to go to the gym 3 times a week for cardio. 3 times a week for cardio. I want one of those sessions, or 2 of those sessions to be this high intensity interval training. If you go on my site, all the muscle building cardios are all this type. Or you can just dial it in any way you want. Just at home, like I said, running hills, doing pool work, doing box jumps, plyometrics, just doing sprint jogs, all these things require. That's a good thing about high intensity interval training. Requires no gym or no equipment, and you can do it anywhere. There's no excuses, all right? No excuses. I need you guys to do that twice a week. Outside, I need you to lift too. I need you to lift it 4 times. The other 2 times, you're gonna come in there in the evenings or in the other off days, and you're gonna be doing this twice a week. All of high intensity interval training is only done at max 3 times a week or twice a week. Why? Because it's that intense on the body. When you do high intensity training for 20 minutes, guys, and you do it correctly, where your VO2 max is fucking popped, you are burning calories in recovery for 48 hours, 2 days afterwards, on a 20-minute spent. 48 hours. You can't do these back-to-back days. You gotta have 40 hours split in between. It's that taxing on the body. You've got to trust me on that. The other times, now, if you're in that transition phase, nighttime, guys, nighttime, before you go to bed, fucking get outside and walk. Get on a treadmill, 45 minutes, elevate your heart rate, prolong for a period of time. It's a walk. Again, it's off the heart rate. Keep the heart rate low. You know, 65% of your max BMI, nothing more than that. Keep it low. And do it as many times as you guys want. It's not going to interfere with your lifting program or your high intensity training. It's a total fat burn. You're not going to burn any fat afterwards, but it helps to get more of the fucking, more of the debt off your credit cards. The more you can do it. If you can do it every single night, go for it. You're going to start losing. And why do you do it at nighttime? Because you're burning off any kind of residual carbohydrates or whatever's in your gut. And why is that important? Because your body is efficient. It's always going to burn what's easiest, not what you want to burn, what's easiest. If you go to sleep with carbs, you have a dinner and stuff, have all that fucking pasta and bread and cake and shit, and then you go to sleep, your body's just grabbing all that fat and storing it and just using the carbs because it's easy to burn. That's how your body is. It's efficient. You know, but that's not efficient for our end goal result. So at nighttime, you do these walks and stuff for 45 minutes. Grab your significant other or your buddy, whatever else is, and commit to a plan together. And if you can do it every single night, all that means you're gonna be turning a transition phase into a maintenance phase that much faster. It's at your will. It's non-subjective. No one give it to you, take it away. It's yours to have. Harder you work, the more results. Just like high intensity interval training. Extreme workout, extreme results. So do that as much as you can. But the module is twice for high intensity in a transition phase, all right? And then at nighttime, you're gonna be doing these things at night that burn off all the carbs, so you're going to sleep on a 0 to low carbohydrate regime. Therefore, your body still needs energy to survive at nighttime. Well, it will burn fat because it's a low heart rate. As you're sleeping, it can burn fat all night long to sustain the activity of sleeping. So therefore, you wake up hungry, then you can eat some. That's another thing about diet. We can get into that later. Otherwise, this video blog is going to be like a couple hours. It's probably already too long. So, all right. So, on a given week, Monday through Sunday, right? As often as you can do it in the evening before you go to sleep. And I'm talking about evening. Like I'm talking about like, you know, done work, you know, put the kids to bed and everything else, about to go lay down to watch a little TV. No, we're gonna actually do a little jogging or something, do a little walk. If you have a treadmill at the house, then you watch TV and you just walk it out with it, you know? 45 minutes, boom, then go to sleep. I know it sucks, you don't wanna do that, but you're gonna love the fucking results of it. The fat will melt off that much faster. But not as fast as high intensity training. But if you have that excess body fat and transition phase, you need to be doing that as many times as you can every single evening. Work out in the mornings, high intensity interval training 2 of the days. So if you're working out 4 or 5 times a week, the other 2 days of it, when you're not working out, you're doing the high intensity interval training. As many times as you can at nighttime before you go to bed, nightcap, walk it out for 45 minutes. Boom, you'll be in a maintenance phase, no problem. Maintenance phase, again, is when you can see abs in the mirror. It's when you're single digit body fat. Once you're in that state, guys, get off the treadmills. There is no more cardio for you. Any type of cardio you're doing where you're balls to the wall or sweating everything else for more than 20 minutes, guys, you're eating up everything your body needs, everything you want your body to have. Because again, your body's efficient. When you're that low body fat, you're in the red, man. You're in the red. It's like, fuck, man. If we lose any more body fat, we're in trouble. So what's it gonna do? It's not gonna burn, it's gonna burn all the muscle mass because that's an excess. It doesn't see that as something substantial. It sees it as an energy source, tap into it. So when you guys get down to low body fat, everyone's like, hey, how do you get the lower abs to pop? How do you do that? Well, if you get on treadmills and start doing all this shit, all you're doing is just popping out the sides of your bicep and chest and legs. You're not popping off your abs because you're at that low state when your body's like, dude, we're keeping everything we have. It's in a survival state. So we can't let this go, man. So you gotta fuck with it, man. And the way you fuck with it is you get off the treadmills. Don't even give it a chance to go for more than 20 minutes. Otherwise, if you do, it's gonna go right to your body mass, your muscle mass, and eat it up. Keep it low. High intensity interval training 2-3 times a week, or maybe once a week. It's all good. But what you're gonna do is you're done in 20 minutes, man. So you don't even have the time frame for your body to jump off the carbs into the muscle mass and bypass the fat. 20 minutes, man. 2-3 times a week. Get off the treadmills, get off the cardio, get off the long jogs. Unless you enjoy that for therapeutic reasons, go for it. But know, even though it's therapeutic, know what you're doing is you're shrinking yourself down. That fast you are. Does that make sense? I hope it does. High intensity interval training is the only type of cardio I do anymore. Only type of cardio I do. I showed you a speed bag interval training, wavelength thing. There's a few other things in there. It's all about you know, and what high intensity is 2 things: high intensity and interval. So you spike your VO2 max for a period, and then you do an interval rest. Spike it, interval rest. Dr. Tabata, he's like, yo, it's 4 minutes. It's 20 seconds on at 170% of your VO2 max. Do you know what that feels like? That feels like death right there. That's like you're a second away from dying, and you do it for 20 seconds. That's how hard it is. And you're going 10 seconds recovery, and then back on it. You're doing 8 cycles of that, guys. 8 cycles of that, it's 4 minutes total. You're out, done. That's all you need to do, guys. And then if you do anything else in your cardio regime, you're lifting, man. A couple times a week. So if you guys are really die-hard guys and you're maintenance phase, and you really want to dial it in as fast as you can, man, find a nice module split where you're not overtraining your muscle groups. Like I do a chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs. Why do I do that? Because chest, and then it's 4 days off before I go back to chest. Yeah, he has a little bit of chest with triceps and, you know, shoulders and stuff, but the majority of it is getting rest. Legs, it doesn't hit it again for 4 more days. So I can go to the gym every single day to increase the elevation of that, increase the heart rate, maintain it, you know, get those spikes and stuff. So it's always burning fat. Again, it's all lean now because I got rid of the body fat. So I'm just, I can't gain weight, man. It's like impossible. I mean, body fat. I can't gain body fat when you're in that module. You've beaten the curve, man. You've paid off all your debt. Everything now is principal, man. And how much do you want to pay off, man? You've got the bank account to do it now. So I mean, take a, you know, question what I'm saying, man. Always question everything. Really look at it. But if you guys are doing a 5-day split, right, then of those 5 days, 2 of the days are going to be off. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I go Monday, Tuesday. So you got chest, back, shoulders. Then Wednesday, I take a day off right here, or right in here, whatever one. 2 days. Then do a high intensity training day. Don't go to the gym, just that. Then come back, finish up your routine. Then do another one. And then go back into it. That transition of it all, from going 2 days on the gym, high intensity cardio day, 3 days on the gym, high intensity cardio day to complete a 7-day package. Helps to build muscle confusion, breaks the monotony, comes out of the gym, come back in. You're gonna see great results just with that transition of muscle confusion. That's gonna be wonderful, man. But you need to have another 48 hours in between those high intensity. Just like with chest, we have 4 days off. You know, when you do high intensity training, you cannot do it, you know, right away the next day. So I think if you're at a low body fat 2 is totally fine. Or do it 1 week where you're doing high intensity like that. The next week you come in on those 2 days, right? You're not gonna do the high intensity, but you're gonna come back in that evening to the same workout you did that morning, but now you're doing it with high reps, short duration in a circuit instead of, you know, a 4-set pyramid up and weight down and reps module before moving to the next exercise. That's what I do, guys. And on my website, on the body transformation tracker, on the left-hand side is a little arrow. You click it, calendar pops up. It tells you when to do, how to do, and what to do. It's what I do. It's every single time. It's just follow it. And you get the results I get because, you know, I mean, it's not like I'm blessed and you're not, or you're blessed and I'm not. No. Who's got the biggest work ethic? Who's got the biggest drive? Who has the biggest desire inside of it? You know, the perseverance to keep going at it. That's what got me here. That gets you there, man. But there's no like seed or genetic code that someone's got a big one, the other one, someone's get faster. That all washes out in the longevity of life. It's the willpower and the perseverance of the individual that will achieve and cross every finish line. All right, guys, I hope this wasn't too long. Hopefully you understand. Again, you got the transition and the maintenance. The maintenance, I'm saying you're only doing high intensity training 2 times a week at the most, and then switch it up, rotate that, cycle it out with the other type of lifting cardio that I was talking about. On the maintenance phase, the transition phase, same thing, two sessions of high intensity training, because that's going to put the endurance to the muscle. There's so much benefit there besides just fat loss, guys. Again, cardio, there's fat loss, there's aerobic conditioning, and then anaerobic endurance, your muscle endurance. All 3 of them you need to be successful. There is no success with one missing link. We're trying to find failure, and when finding failure, we get to find out where the weak link in our chain of life is so we can apply our effort more efficiently to improve all of our weaknesses. Therefore, we can grow a lot faster. You know, you can't always build your strengths and think you're going to climb because you have all this weight holding you down. Those are your failures. You cut those ball and chain, the failures off, right? And you soar a lot faster because you're not carrying all this baggage. But in the transition, you're going to do high intensity training twice a week, along with your workouts, you know, your lifting workouts in the morning. In the evening, guys, you're also going to do as many times as you can, man. You can't overdo this part. You can't burn out on it. You're going to do that slow, you know, monotonous kind of walk at a brisk pace kind of thing. Total fat burn at the end of the evening, before you go to sleep, to burn off the remaining carbs, whatever's in your stomach, to make sure you're going to sleep on a 0 to low carb kind of residual balance, so your body then only can burn the remaining balance of fat for energy to sustain life throughout the night. Again, I can't say this enough. High intensity training, guys, increases your human growth hormone by 450% for the next 24 hours, man. 450%, man. Some of you guys are contemplating like doing steroids and stuff. Try this motherfucker first, man. Try it naturally. It also helps a full-blown type 2 diabetes guy to monitor and maintain improved levels of his insulin and blood sugar. Naturally, man. You don't need all this stuff. And when you start doing it naturally, instead of relying on a third-party drug or a person or anything else, you can do it yourself, man. You are just growing this confidence inside yourself that anything's possible. And you can throw whatever at me, man. You can't knock me down. Anyway, great Plitt, help me stay fit. Great question, Troy. Thanks a lot for listening.